Welcome to our free webinar here on the top 10 to-dos and tips and tools on search engine optimization. So this is kind of a good introductory session for people who don't know a lot about SEO. It's also a good reminder for those of us who are smarty pants experts that the basics matter a great deal, and if you stay focused on your basics, you're going to do really, really well. I find a lot of times the experts get very much lost in the weeds. So our shout out first of all for those of you who are watching on YouTube. If you click on the YouTube description, you'll have a link to be able to get the free SEO toolbook, which has hundreds of free tools. Or for those who are participating live, just stick around to the end. If you're not subscribed to our mailing list, we'll remind you how to get the SEO toolbook, which is newly updated for fall 2016. So it's a super popular compilation of free tools for SEO. All right, so what's our agenda? We're going to talk a little bit about a conceptual framework. The framework I use in my book, SEO Fitness Workbooks, to sort of remind yourself that SEO is like physical fitness. There are a lot of really basic things you can do to succeed at it. And then we're going to go through my favorite to-dos and tools, some new ones, some old favorites that will remind us how to stay on course to the top of Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And I'm going to get you so excited at the end that you're going to never stop learning. You're going to get up on your desktop. You're going to scream like Norma Ray did. And your compatriots there in your workplace are going to think you're really strange, but you're going to be so jazzed about this endeavor. So let's talk a little bit about SEO being like physical fitness. So physical fitness is sort of a funny thing, right? You need the desire to get fit. You have to have that mental attitude. I want to get fit. I want to be fitter than I am right now. You need to know some knowledge of some basic rules. So, stop going to the drive-thru at McDonald's every day and start eating kale. I don't know if you like kale. Kale is sort of the new broccoli, isn't it? So you have to know the rules. You have to have some knowledge of what those rules are. And then I think this is probably the most difficult process, certainly for me when it comes to physical fitness, is you have to have the discipline to actually implement those rules. You have to eat your kale. You have to walk around the block. You have to lift some weights. You have to stop eating coffee ice cream, which is my favorite. You've got to have that discipline to stay with it. And then finally, you need that wisdom to never stop learning, because there's, constantly new techniques and things. And this is where we're a little different than physical fitness. SEO does change. You got to stay with it. You got to learn what's new and exciting. How has Google changed the rules this month? So I think that's a good conceptual framework when we start to look at search engine optimization, layman's definition, how do we get to the top of Google? Now let's share some good news for you. Most of us, myself included, we're not training for the Olympics, right? We're not going to be the Michael Phelps of 2020. We're just trying to get a little bit less overweight. We're trying to get a little bit better aerobics. And in the realm of SEO, you don't have to run faster than the bear. You just have to run faster than your buddy, right? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better than the next pizza restaurant that's out there on Google. And I think this is really important because people tend to get kind of discouraged when it comes to SEO, and they think, oh my gosh, I can't do it perfectly. I really motivate people a lot, and you want to have this idea that you just have to be better than those pathetic other people in your industry, and you'll win. And that's a really important motivational concept. All right, so this webinar is sort of our basic training. It's sort of very basic concepts, give you a conceptual framework, motivate you, give you some practical things to do at the end of the day to improve your performance. So let's keep that analogy of physical fitness in mind, and we're going to start our tools tour. It's hard to say, tools tour, as we go through and look at to-dos, tips, and tools. All right, so number one that you have to know is you've kind of got to know what you want. You have to have a sense of the layout of the Google page, and you got to start to sort of get the sense of the process. So we're going to flip over to Google here in a second, but let's look here on the screen, and what are those ideas? So let's take some common searches that I use when I teach my classes. So a common search, pizza, right? You have to know what is the keyword. Is it pizza? Is it Italian food? Is it Italian catering? Is it motorcycle insurance? Is it motorcycle insurance quote? Is it RV insurance, etc.? You've got to know what the keywords are, and those are going to be related to your business and your target customers. You got to rank high on Google. Everybody knows no one goes beyond page 1. You got to get the click and the landing from Google to your website, and you got to get the sales lead. Now let's flip over to Google here, and let's sort of look at a basic search and just sort of get the lay of the land. And I am very, 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 very much a believer in basics. I find people tend to get lost in the details when it comes to SEO. In our beloved SEO industry, right, we've done everything in our power to so confuse mere mortals that they think they can't do it. So let's just take that search pizza. Now, just a little heads up, you'll see my face up there. You want to either be signed out, you want to be in what's called incognito mode, or in my case, I've turned my preferences to not change what I'm seeing. So let's just take the search for pizza. So what's in the customer mind? Me hungry, me want pizza. And let's do that search for pizza. And let me zoom in here for you. And let's just get a sense of the layout of the search page, right? And if my drawer will cooperate. So we have a search term. So think kind of to-do, think practical. I really try to emphasize to people, what are the practicalities? And you can see where this is going. Is it pizza? Is it pizza, Fremont, California? Is it best Italian food? Is it catering? Is it best venues for birthday in the South Bay of San Francisco, right? So that's that keyword. Now ads, we're not going to talk about ads today. Ads have their own aspect. Then below the ads, we have what are called the snack pack. That's the technical term, believe it or not. So this is called the snack pack, and I want you to start to be a Google detective. So important when you come to basics, right? If you'll notice at the Olympics, you did not see a lot of people that were chowing down on Big Macs and shakes and this kind of thing. There's a lot of patterns that you can see in how people succeed. Notice here 97, 61, 28, the review count. So the more reviews, and notice that if you click there, you're going to go to that review count. You can click over to the review count, and here's a huge shocker. You're going to see that those reviews are Google reviews. Google favors its own reviews for driving people to the snack pack. Now think to-dos, if you're Blaze Pizza, if you're Pizza and Curry, if you're Bronco Billy's, hey, did you like my pizza? You did write me a review. Hey, did you like my pizza? You didn't like the pizza? Thank you very much. Hey, did you like my pizza? You didn't like the pizza? Oh, what did you want? You wanted a vegetarian? Here's a pepperoni. Oh, here's pepperoni. It's fixed. Did you like my pizza? Yes, write a review. Hey, did you like my pizza? You didn't like my pizza. Why? Because you're bitter, nasty, and you hate everything. Thank you. So think about the process, know what you want, reviews, ways to incentivize and encourage happy customers to write reviews. Drive a review count up, get to the top, get the click, get the landing, get the sale. Now down here, we have our organic results. So in this one, we have ads, snack pack, organic. Organic is driven by things that we'll talk about in a little bit more detail. Now do a different search. Motorcycle insurance. No snack pack. So in this one, it's just ads and organic, no snack pack. So you want to start to look at your searches and get a sense of what you want. Keywords, rank, click, conversion. And then now you can start to diagnose where are you doing well, where are you doing poorly. Basics matter a lot. So let's look at our first tool here. First tool is the AdWords Preview tool. So there's been a lot of scuttlebutt here recently. The AdWords tool does require that you have an AdWords account. You don't have to spend money, but you do need to set it up with a credit card. And there's a little bit of flack that Google's kind of tightening the noose that you have to spend a little money. So we're going to leave that aside. Right now, if you just set up an AdWords account, then you can get started. Now, let's say you don't have an AdWords account. Write this website down. It's called Google. Go to Google and type in AdWords, and shockingly, they'll be more than happy to help you get set up. Then you can just pause your account and not spend any money. So you need an AdWords account to use this tool. Now let's open up this first tool, and again, you're all going to get these links. Don't worry about it. Get the tool books, blah, 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 blah. Don't freak out. It's going to be okay. All right, so this tool is really awesome, especially if you are local and you're looking, like let's say you're a pizza restaurant. I'm here in Fremont, California, so we have different neighboring cities, Union City, Milpitas, etc. So you can take your keyword, pizza, you can put it into this tool, and you can very easily change your locations. You can see from here, Pyology, etc. is close. So let's say I'm just down the road in Union City, California. So I can change my location without having to actually leave my office, right? And I can see how does that search behavior, what's at the top, see how it switched? Mountain Mike's is at the top, number 2. Why does anyone go to Domino's? I mean, I don't want to, I mean, it's kind of Domino's. No, don't go to Domino's. Mountain Mike's is number 2 in the snack pack for Union City, okay? And then we have our organic. So you're able here to vary your location very easily and see how does your rank change and the nexus between your keyword and your location. What else can you do that's very important? You can see what do you look like on the phone. Phone is more and more important. So you can now say, hey, I want to see what does the search for pizza look like in Union City on the phone. You can see how Google's crowded it all out with ads, right? Shocking. So you have ads, snack pack, and then organic on that phone. So you're able to see the phone, the tablet, the desktop. So this tool is a wonderful way to kind of leave home without leaving home and also be able to see what is your website, not your website, what does your rank look like across the phone, et cetera. So it really makes our list as the most important early keyword sort of preview tool. Where are you ranking? All right, so now let's drill down to number 2. And you've already, I'm very logical, right? I'm very logical as I approach this, right? I want to go to the Olympics, Mom. You do? What sport? I don't know. I can't help you. I want to go to the Olympics, Mom. What sport? Pole vaulting, synchronized swimming, right? You know, what do you want to do? Okay, pole vaulting, I can help you. I can help you get to the top. I know what you can do, right? Starting with stop eating at McDonald's, stop eating at Burger King, right? Pole vaulter, maybe you need to lose weight and a little more flexible versus synchronized swimming, you need to be very in tune with rhythm. Okay, so number 2, you got to know your keyword targets, right? Now, we don't have a lot of time in this sort of freebie and stuff, but, you know, mental show of hands, who out there knows their keywords? Who out there knows their exact keywords? Who out there has had a meeting with their company where they have built a keyword worksheet and they know exactly what keywords they want to dominate? Okay, it's really sad and pathetic, I can tell you right now. Most of you don't even know your keywords. Certainly not in a systematic, organized way. Right? Mom, I want to go to the Olympics. What Olympics, son? What sport? Oh, no. That doesn't work. Same idea. Hey, we want to be at the top of Google. What keywords? Well, we kind of sort of know our keywords. No, that doesn't work. You have to know your keyword targets. So you got to drill into those keywords. You have to be very systematic. And I'll tell you, as I do corporate trainings and workshops and all this kind of jazz, I don't think I've ever walked into a company where at the beginning they have a systematic list of their keywords in any kind of coherent order. So we got to know this keyword. So our first tool is Uber Suggest, which is sort of an oldie but goodie at this point. Let's go over to Uber Suggest. Make sure that proliferates across the internet. Now here's what's great about this tool is you put in your keyword, motorcycle insurance, whatever your keyword is, and you hit Suggest. And this actually pulls its data from Bing because Google's a little naughty and it won't give you that data. And let's hit Suggest here if it's going to cooperate. Probably going to crash because, hey, it's a webinar. Why wouldn't we not work during a webinar? Let's see if it's going to cooperate. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Okay, so it's not working because it's being bad. Let's try a different keyword. Maybe it's hungry. Let's try pizza. It's just not going to work for me. Isn't that interesting? I always like a good puzzle, right? Let me see if it works on another browser. It's just being stupid. I don't want Spotify. Let's see. All right, I can't get to my desktop. All right, so let's just see. I'll just show you where it would get its data from. Another way to do this. So Uber suggests when it's working and being cooperative, you put in motorcycle insurance, and what it does is it pulls this list. Motorcycle insurance costs, California rates, and start to think keywords. Motorcycle insurance rates, companies. See how those are people close to buying? The other thing it does for you, it's really cool, is you can do A, you can do B, you can do C, and it's going to pull all of those for you, and you can then select the keywords and pull them out. So it's a good tool that's based on Google Suggest, Bing Suggest, pulling those data. And then why are you using this? To build your keyword list. To build your keyword list. So it's based on Google Suggest, or it's based on Bing Suggest, but it's going to pull those, especially those helper words, motorcycle insurance quote, motorcycle insurance rate, and where you're going is to build your keyword list so that you know what you're doing. A little bit about me. I always start with the fun stuff and then drill into me. This is a slide about me. This is information on me. Yes, I'm really smart. Yes, okay, great. All right, let's talk about our next tool here is just sort of a funny tool. It's called Let Me Google That For You, and I just want to show you how this tool works. Gotta pop between these things here. So let me Google that for you. So I'm going to show you this. It's kind of a funny, this is more of a funny tool. So what it does is you can actually type in a search query, and it will actually, you can save it on your blog or something, and it's going to actually run that search for you and pop you over, and you can share it on social media. So this is just like shows you that nerds have a lot of time in their life, and this will actually allow you to build a clickable search to a Google. So that's kind of a funny little tool. Okay, it was an attempt at a joke, people. All right, let's talk about number 3. So we know our keywords. We're using some of the tools like Uber Suggest to get our keywords. Now, what do we do with them? We have to put those keywords in strategic tag locations. And this sort of shout out to the smarty pants in the room there. As I've worked with lots of different companies, the basics are so important. So do you know your keywords? No. Okay, well now we have a to-do. We got to know our keywords in an organized fashion. Okay, now we know our keywords. We have to put them in the proper tag locations. It's a super easy thing to do, but I'll tell you, many, many, many companies do not do it well and don't do a good job on it. So there are some tools that will help you analyze tag structure. And let's make sure we understand tag structure. So let's just sort of go and do a search here. So we'll do motorcycle insurance. Okay, so let's do our search, motorcycle insurance. Let's ignore our ads. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Now, I'm kind of using those sports analogies, fitness analogies. You know, who was the number 1 swimmer, right? Phelps. Who's number 2, Lochte, right? Or, you know, one of those guys, right? Lochte was kind of freaked out there with the whole thing about the getting mugged. And then number 3, bronze, right? Gold, silver, bronze. Those are the most important positions, 60 to 70% of click volume. You got to be in those top 10 to be in the money. So top 10 is very good, is good, right? Top 3 is golden. Okay, now let's look at the number 1, Progressive Insurance. Let's go over and look at Progressive Insurance. Okay, so we're popping over to Progressive Insurance. So this is our gold medalist, number 1 on Google for the phrase motorcycle insurance. Now, don't freak out. Right-click, view page source, right? And this is your code, and you don't have to know a lot of code to be please don't freak out, right? Stop freaking out. You don't have to be a genius when it comes to HTML code. You just have to have a basic understanding that that keyword, in this case motorcycle insurance quote, has to be strategically positioned in certain key tags. There's about 4 or 5 of them that are very important. 4 or 5 that are very important. So this is the physical code. This is the actual code, right, that people are seeing on, that Google's seeing. And notice how motorcycle insurance quote is in that strategic tag. Now let's go Control F as in Frank, type in the word motorcycle, and you can scroll down. And again, don't freak out. You don't have to be a genius about code. I just want to show you, you can go down here and you can see here's an H1 tag that has the word motorcycle insurance in it. Now over here in human land, that's your H1 right there. Okay, so that's your thought. You know the keyword, you put it in the strategic tag locations. Now here's the most wonderful thing here. There's a tool that will help you analyze your websites. Let's go over here and let's click on the tool. Okay, so this tool, you can paste your home page, your sub pages, your landing pages into this tool. So this tool kind of speaks Google, kind of knows these tags. Okay, so I put my home page in it, my landing page in it. I've hit submit. Now again, Control F, if I teach you anything today, Control F is in Frank, I believe it's Command F on the Mac. And then let's type in motorcycle, and then it's going to highlight. And see here, it's telling you the title tag has the keyword. So if you are optimizing for a keyword and you don't see it here in the tag structure, well, your first problem is, hey mom, I want to go to the Olympics. Well, Olympics, I don't know, right? I want to go to the Olympics, motorcycle insurance. Okay, great. You've got to communicate. You've got to apply to get to the Olympics. You've got to fill out the form correctly to indicate that's what you're going into competition for. So title, meta description, keywords is actually ignored, and then it gives you some nice greens and reds and orange and things like this. Gives you some analysis, shows you what you're going to show on Google, gives you your anchor tags, right? Tells you some anchor. And again, a little bit of this you have to know a little bit, which we teach in class. It's also in the book. Image alt, here's the image alt, which does not contain the keyword. That's sort of like a ding. Here's our H1s, H2s, etc. Here's our keywords. Here's our keyword density. So this little analytics tool is going to help you analyze, once you know your keywords, are you putting them in the correct location? Now, I also have a link to the Google SEO Starter Guide. So that's sort of the Google Bible as to how to do this correctly. Again, it's a very basic document, and most of our Smarty Pants people will already have it. But for those who don't, I have the link for you. And let me see if I can get to my desktop. I think my computer is just deciding you don't need your desktop. Let me hit escape here. Well, it's just being bad. So if you want to get it, you just go to Google and you can put in Google SEO Starter Guide. And that's going to, once you know the magic words, right, you're going to be able to find that, right? And it's right here. It's a PDF. You can open that PDF up. You can read it. It tells you a lot of the very basic tag structure elements that you need. And I always kind of joke with it. It has two other purposes. It's an excellent sleeping aid. So if you can't go to sleep, right, it'll work. I guarantee it. And you can also roll it up if you print it on paper, and you can beat the person on your team who says, why should we put it blah, blah, blah in the tags because I don't want to do it because I'm so smart. You can beat them on the head and say, here's a crazy idea. If we want to succeed at Google, why don't we do it Google's way? Kind of crazy, right? So that's a number 2 or 3 tool there. So let's go back. So that's tool there. All right. Now, number 4, and this is, again, it's so funny. I always kind of feel like sort of like apologetic, right? I'm telling you the basics, right? And why is that? Because the basics matter incredibly. They're incredibly important to do. Michael Phelps, despite what you saw in terms of endorsements for Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and all that really bad food, none of those athletes are eating at McDonald's. None of those athletes are drinking Coca-Cola. They're not polluting their bodies with that because they want to succeed, right? The basics are being done. Of course, they're at a level that you and I are not, but here's the thing. You're not competing against Michael Phelps. You're competing against the guy or gal next door, and you just have to do the basics better to win. So number 4 here is inbound links. Inbound links. And that's my picture of Donald Trump shot. I just love this picture. Look at that woman's face and look at the baby. And that picture, there's a lot in that picture. Now, why is that in there? The reason that's in there is politicians kiss babies, shake hands. And as an SEO person, you want to get sites to link to you. And there's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of things that you have to do. However, if you just kiss babies and you just shake hands, and that's a basic, isn't it, right? Trump has to learn how to like babies who are crying, right? So same idea. You've got to realize, hey, if I'm a member of an association and it has a directory, I want to get it to link to my website. You're going to try to get those links. Now, a little bit more sophisticated is a tool. There's a tool that will help you reverse engineer who links to whom, okay? Who links to whom. Now, why is that important? It's like a little laser analysis where you can go and you can drill in and you can say who links to whom. Who links to whom. So for instance, let me do a search here, Pizza San Francisco, right? So I'm a pizza joint, I'm in San Francisco, and I'm competing, and let's sort of see if we can go down here and find somebody who's not just like a regular website. So here's Tony's Pizza Napolitana, right? Tony, make a good pizza for you. So here's a pizza. That was my bad Italian accent. All right, so let's say you're competing against Tony's, and you can see in terms of organic, he's ranking pretty well below really difficult websites to beat, Yelp and TripAdvisor, and we're going to ignore the snack pack for now. So you're competing against him, and wouldn't it be awesome if there were a tool that you can paste his domain in, and you can find out who are his voters, quote unquote, who is linking to him, yes or no. And that's what this tool will do. So for free, it'll give you, I think, around 3 searches a day. And of course, I have the paid tool. So this tells you that Tony's has 763 links, 763 websites have voted for him. That's why I like that politician analogy, right? Who's going to win the election? Whoever has more votes, right? Essentially, correct, right? Same idea. Now, so let's say Pizza San Francisco, and then let's go, and let's go down here to like somebody really sad and pathetic, like on number 6. Let's go over here. You always have to get a few Skype calls while you're trying to so let's take Firehouse Pizza, right? And let's open up Firehouse Pizza and let's just compare them. So I'm just going to grab there. So they're not sad and pathetic. Please don't sue me, right? They're not sad. I'm just saying in the world of Google, right, they're way down here on page 6. No one is going to find them. And Tony is page 1. So let's go look at them in this tool. Right, just real quick, let's paste them into this tool, right? And again, for free, you do 3 searches. So let's see. Now see here, why is Tony's crushing it? 763 websites are linking to Tony, right? 17 are linking to Firehouse Pizzeria. Do you see that? So now Firehouse Pizza, we know what one of our problems are. We don't have the links that Tony's does. And who's linking to Tony? Go over here. You can click on backlinks, and it's going to show you who's linking to Tony. And now you have an action item of trying to get those people to link to you or seeing what's going on. And, oh, he's in the Noir City Film Foundation. That's kind of kinky. Okay, so he's in the noir film, all this great. So that's what's going on. So this tool helps you understand who links to whom on the internet. So now you have an action item about getting links and trying to get those links to you. So you can use this tool to look at yourself, look at a competitor, and say, hey, why are we not beating Tony? Well, for one reason, he has way more links than us, and then now I have a to-do item of trying to do better and improve my link behavior. So I know it's a lot of complicated knowledge, but just think votes and who's a voter and strategy to get out the vote and get those votes, sort of Clinton versus Trump. All right. Related to this, when we're talking about this, is Google reviews. And we've already sort of alluded to this, that Google reviews are incredibly important, right? So let's do the search for pizza. And here I am in Fremont, California. And Bronco Billy says 79. Pizza Guys has 13. Pizza Hut has 19, right? So you can see there's a relative. You can actually click down here, and you can see there's sort of an affinity. The more reviews you have, the better you do. Nobody is at the top here with not that many. And that's true for every localized search, right? So a DUI attorney, right? Google's agnostic. So DUI attorney is also impacted by the review count. So this guy here has 2 reviews. You always have to think, who reviewed their Google, right? So, just a shout out, if you have a DUI, maybe you shouldn't put it publicly on the internet, just saying. But same idea, reviews. Now, here's the tool. So you're Bronco Billy's, right, and you want reviews. Now, Google has not made this easy. Hey, you got the pizza. You like the pizza? I love the pizza. The pizza's really good. Okay, great. Would you do us a favor? Would you write us a review? Would you write us a review? And you always... you have to love Google, right? I love Google, right? So we're out there busy building self-driving cars, right? Because that's so important, and we're beaming internet to penguins over Antarctica. Now let's look at the process by which Google would like you as a consumer to write a review of Bronco Billy. So first, here's the easy steps you tell your customer. First, go to Google and search for us, Bronco Billy's Pizza, Fremont, right? So that's the first problem. Go and find us. Oh, great. Our reviews have just sort of disappeared. Now, click here, okay? Then go down to the review tab, right? And even I have trouble finding it. Find the link to the review. See how easy this is? Click on that, write a review. Do you see how hard that is for the average mere mortal who's not in a self-driving car that's driving across Antarctica that's beaming internet because we have way too much money at Google, right? Not easy. Now here's the thing that's beautiful about this tool. So you're Bronco Billy's Pizza and you want to incentivize people, hey, you love the pizza, write us a review. There's a generator. So you can go to this wonderful tool and you can type in your name, Bronco Billy. It's actually very good pizza, by the way. I'm serious, it's really good. Bronco Billy's extra sauce. Bronco Billy's Pizza, Fremont, California. So you're going to put your business name into this tool. it's going to do some magical tricks here, and it's going to find you. So they have a couple locations. So I'm going to choose the location here in Niles, and I'm going to hit continue. And then these guys, this is the wonder of the internet, is for free, for absolutely no cost. The super nerds at Grade Us have created a tool that's going to go and find it. Okay, now you have this horrible, see this, gotta love Google, right? Gotta love Google. Here is the URL to give to your customers. It's super easy, right? Hey guys, go to google.com/search/Q equals Bronco, parentheses 20 Billies, parentheses 20 Pizza, parentheses 20 Palace, and Ludo Sid equals 12213666357, right? That only Google could think of this as some sort of logical URL. But here's the next tool I want to share with you. So just go to either bit.ly or go to tinyurl.com and paste that horrible Google URL that you've just gotten. Make it tiny, and you can even customize. You could make this tinyurl.com/review Bronco Billies, and you can copy that, and now you have this really short URL. You can send in an email, you can put on a postcard, you could put on a card at the table, and it says, write a review for us, and when they click on that or they enter it into their browser, watch this, boom. How easy is that? Now, why is that important? Because we want to dominate the search pizza, and we're good Google detectives, and we've realized that the review count is a huge factor to getting us to the top of Google. So now we have our to-do items. Mom, I want to go to the Olympics. What sport? Pole vaulting. Hey, you need to learn how to jump, kid, right? Go out there and start jumping every day 10 times and keep doing it until you jump a little bit higher each day. We need reviews. We got to have reviews. Okay, how do we do that? We got to ask customers. We got to make it easy for customers to write those reviews. We need to go through this process to create a short little URL that they can search on Google, because those reviews are going to help us. So if you are a local business, this tool helps you make an easy system. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to everybody. If you're not local, it's not nearly as important. But if you are local, and so many small businesses have a local element, you got to do the review count correctly. All right, to-do number 5, you need content. You've got to have content, which this is I'm not a graphic designer, right? So that's supposed to be, they look like chickens, don't they? But they're not. That's supposed to be a factory. So you need a factory of content. So you need to start generating content that is going to pull people into your website, that they're going to share, that they're going to love, etc. And I'm going to share with you BuzzSumo as a tool. Now, I also teach social media. I also have a really popular book on social media. So BuzzSumo, it's kind of like Ahrefs, right? It's got a free version. It's got a paid version. So for free, they let you do, I believe, 3 searches a day. I have, of course, the paid version, so you can do infinity searches. And here's what's cool about this one. Let's say you're doing motorcycle insurance. So you're going to put in your keyword here, motorcycle insurance, and you're going to hit search. And this tool is going to show you the most shared content across the internet. So it shows you that in the last year, the number 2 most shared content with 1.1 thousand shares on Facebook is this post. Now, why is that important? That's because you, as a content marketer, you want to create content that people like and love and share and link to and engage with. And what's the best way to know what people like is to look at what they're already liking. So this tool allows you to identify what people are liking about your keyword. But it gets better. It always gets better, right? You can put in a competitor domain, geico.com. Let's say we're Progressive Insurance and we're competing against Geico, and you want to see my competitor, what is the most shared content on my competitor's website, so that I can reverse engineer that. So you can put your competitor's domain into BuzzSumo to find out what content that is being shared by your competitor, right? And then now you can create similar content, better content, etc. So a lot of your competitors, they don't even know what's being shared about their own content. So this tool is just fantastic. It's really kind of at the juncture between social media and SEO. So I just fantastic. I think this is, of all the tools in today's webinar, I would say this tool is the most loved. When you go to a show, people just, I mean, I go to these very nerdy trade shows, right? And we faint. We're just like, oh, I love you, BuzzSumo. You're amazing, right? It is a beloved tool because it just shows you so much interesting stuff about what's out there. I also have, by the way, when you get the links, you're going to get links to other tools that are in the toolbook that I did, like kind of honorary mention second. Addictomatic is a free tool. It's also pretty cool. It allows you to build your own little dashboard for that. So that's kind of cool. So you want to get that content. You want to start doing that content. Okay, related to that, okay, now I'm going to write a blog post. I need some ideas to generate a really nifty blog post. So this tool allows you, let's let that load. I don't want to go too fast. I'm sorry for going too fast. I just get a little bit too caffeinated here in the morning. And, you know, it's funny. I love teaching this. I love explaining it to people. I think that makes me kind of an odd bird. But it's really fun. It's really enjoyable. Once you start to see it as a game that you're playing, you're trying to outcompete people, you get that thrill, you know, when you're crushing it and you're at the top. And you have a plan. You have a focus. You're not just like, oh, this is such a drag. I hate this. Oh my God, I don't want. You're just like, this is really exciting and fun. You know, kind of in the way, you know, playing Scrabble is fun, or succeeding at a triathlon. Or you can see I'm not an athlete. One of those runny things where they do the bikes and then they swim. You know what I'm talking about. Being number one. So it's really fun and enjoyable once you kind of have a method to your madness of seeing it as a game. With tools and tips and to-dos. All right, so you're going to write a blog. Now, okay, I'm going to write a blog on motorcycle insurance, right? So I'm going to put in my keywords or my topic that I just kind of figured out from BuzzSumo, and this helps me kind of title my blog post, gives me ideas. So here come new ideas for motorcycle insurance. 20 facts about a motorcycle insurance that'll impress your friends, right? Why motorcycle insurance are hotter than Jennifer Lawrence. Who knew? How motorcycle insurance killed Kenny. So you can actually use this funky little tool to kind of just get your ideas flowing as you're blogging. So you don't have that problem like, I got to write a blog post on motorcycle insurance. And I have no idea what I'm going to write about, and this is so boring, and I hate my job. But you're like, no, we've got to write, you know, a blog post on, you know, birthday venues for kids, and I can use this, you know, who would have thought birthday venue? So you have some fun, and you're writing, and you're creating content, and the content's SEO friendly, and it's also shareable on social media. Cool, fun, free tool to help you generate ideas. I also find if you drink 2 or 3 martinis while you're doing this tool, it will also really help you either pass out or get some good ideas. Tool number 6, just really quickly here, this is the Google Search Console. So shocking revelation. You want to succeed on Google. How about this? Join their Search Console. It used to be called Webmaster Tools, but they have a department at Google called Rename Things in Crazy Irrational Ways to confuse people, and so they renamed it to the Search Console. So let me just zip into our site here if I can see it here. Where's my site? So this tool is the Google Search Console, and let me just show you one trick I think is very useful. A lot of people miss here. So you got to sign up for the tool. Again, the toolbook sort of explains it. Once you know the tool exists, you can log up to here's a tool I think a lot of people miss. Fetch as Google. Fetch as Google. Now, what is cool about Fetch as Google? So I wrote a blog post. I told my wife the other day, people are stealing my book. He's like, really? You're stealing my book? I am not that rich. Please stop stealing my book. So I wrote a blog post. I'm always thinking, what can I blog about, right? So I wrote a blog post, right, about, you know, please don't steal my book, not to mention you're going to get viruses from all the sites. So I wrote a blog post, and I want to get that indexed by Google. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the URL of my brand new spanking blog post about please don't steal from me. I am way too poor for you to be stealing from me. And I'm going to go into my Webmaster Tools, and I'm going to put it into the Fetch as Google. And it's going to fetch that. Oh, did I do it wrong? I think I did it wrong. Here, I think you take that out. You got to get that. Oh my gosh, sometimes it's like, I think there's a little genie or something when you're doing a presentation that's like, no, we're not going to let you do that. Okay, so you're going to fetch that tool. That's the tool. You're going to fetch that page, and then see how it's fetched it. And I'm going to go submit to index. and I'm going to claim I'm not a robot, although maybe I am a robot, and I'm going to hit crawl only this URL or the, and I'm going to hit go. And what is this doing? This is telling Google, hey Google, I have some new content and I want you to index it. And I want you to pull it into your index. So this is a way to more rapidly get Google to re-index your old content, to index your new content, etc. It's one of the benefits in Webmaster Tools. There's a lot of other benefits we explain in the class or in the book, yada, yada. But that's one that I think people miss because, hey, I just wrote my blog post on, Halloween venues for kids, and I want to get that out there in prep for Halloween season. I'm going to go into my Webmaster Tools and I'm going to submit it to Google, and I'm going to get that benefit by being ahead of my competition. So Search Console is definitely on my list of tools, tips, and to-do. Sort of an oldie but a goodie. Number 7. So 7, with that cute little baby there, is a little bit of a checkup tool. So how do those checkup tools work? So I have a tool called WooRank here, and I'm actually going to open it in an incognito window because it will only do one site and then it puts a cookie on you. So let's say we're progressive, right, which is HTTPS. I think it's an S. Let me see. I want to make sure I get the right one. Is it a secure site or not? It is. Okay, so you got to get the correct URL. Is it HTTPS or HTTP? And I'm going to put that in. Now here's what is nice about this tool, especially for those of us who are not super technical, is you can take your website or a page on your website and you can put it into WooRank, and as it's running its thing, and I'm going to have a PDF in the materials that I send out, it's going to give a report, and then it's going to tell you, oh, I like your title tag, I like your meta description tag, your keywords, which you're hopefully going to see keywords that are relevant to you, your alt attributes. So this is a great technical checkup for a particular web page and how it's doing across all sorts of technical metrics that impact your SEO. You got to know a little SEO to understand it, but it's really awesome. And shh, don't tell them. Here's my tip. If you want to run it on a bunch of pages on your website, open it in incognito mode, and you can just flip through and do it. If you open it one time, then they try to sell you on their products and services, and God bless them, that's all wonderful. But this way you can check multiple sites. It's a good little diagnostic checkup. I also have a Varvy is there, and then I'm going to have a sample of bigsfans.com as the checkup. So that's a good checkup tool, diagnostic kind of rule of thumb as you're creating content. So I like that tool. As a technical tool. I like that tool as a technical tool. Okay, now I'm speaking crazy. All right, let's talk about number 8. You want to measure your rank on Google. So this is kind of funny in terms of nerd speak, right? So you'll hear people say, keywords don't matter anymore, rank doesn't matter anymore, just write good contents for humans, right? And over there in the Googleplex, they are watching Austin Powers, and they are doing their evil laughs, right? When people say stupid things like your rank doesn't matter anymore, or keywords don't matter anymore, or only write content for humans. No, 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 no. So we want to know our rank why. And it's common sense if you think about it. So, I have my Harley, I'm ready to go, I need motorcycle insurance, I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to look who sells motorcycle insurance. Now, I may or may not click on ads. I might ignore those ads. I'm going to look. If you don't rank for motorcycle insurance, if you don't rank, you don't get the click. If you don't get the click, you don't get the lead. If you don't get the lead, you don't get the sale. So please don't tell me that rank doesn't matter. Now, is it more complicated? Yes. There's localization, there's personalization, there's mobile phone, etc. But you know what? Hey, son, you want to go to the Olympics? Yes. Is getting to the Olympics difficult? Yes, it is difficult to get to the Olympics. Is it not worth doing because it's difficult? Well, no, of course it's worth doing. Is this the same problem? Is it harder and harder to measure your rank? Yes, it is harder and harder. Is it incredibly important? Yes, it is still incredibly important. Should you write content for humans? Absolutely. Should you write content for Google? Absolutely. Is it hard to write content that is good for Google and good for humans? Absolutely. Does that mean it's not worth doing? Of course not. But people in the blogosphere, they're so dumb. It makes me so crazy. So we have to measure our rank. Now, one way to do it is just motorcycle insurance. We rank number 1, right? RV insurance, how do we rank? You can go manually check. RV insurance, where is Progressive? Number 2. Now, there is a plugin. This has been some change. This is a new tool. There's a plugin called Fat Rank for Chrome. I don't know who named it, but that's the name, Fat Rank for Chrome. So you're going to download that plugin for Chrome and install that plugin, right? So I have the link for you. You're going to go and install this plugin. It's a great plugin. Okay, so now I have the plugin that shows up over here, this little Pokemon, I think it looks like Pokemon little thing. So now you click on that. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. First you go to your website. So you go to Progressive. Let's say you're Progressive, right? You're on your own website. You let that load there. And then you go over here to the Pokemon looking thing and you put in your keyword, car insurance, and you hit check. And it's your number 1. You put in RV insurance and you hit check. Your number 2. You put in, I don't know, Segway insurance. Yes, there's Segway insurance. You put in Segway insurance. Your number 1, right? You put in, you know, I don't know, insurance for drunk drivers. Okay, and your number 7. And then over here in your session report, it's going to save that and you can export it. So this is a really cool tool to just rapidly go and check your website, your rank across keywords. Now, of course, you could put a competitor in here as well and very quickly generate a report. Where do I rank? Where does my competition rank? So it's a really slick little tool for quickly, you know, every day, every couple days, just neurotically, how am I ranking and checking it. So I really like that tool, and it's only available in Chrome. So it's pretty cool. So that's Rank Checker. Now, the other tool, which is super great, which I'm not going to go into all the details on how to use it, is from SEO Book, and that's this tool here, Rank Checker. It's only available on Firefox. So you have to have Firefox for this tool, but again, SEO Book and Rank Checker. I'm watching the internet a little bit. It's a little bit slow for some of you guys. Don't worry, you'll be able to go back to the video or from the toolbook itself and get the tools if I talk too fast. I'm sorry. Calm down. It's just, I think it's exciting. It's fun. Okay, so we got the tools, right, for our rank, and I have a couple other honorable mentions there, which you'll get as well. So those tools, really slick to measure your rank on Google. Fat Rank is the tool there. Number 9 is we want to know a little bit about Google Analytics. A little bit about Google Analytics. So it is a free tool. I'm sure everyone has heard of it, or 99% of people have heard of it. So it's Google's know what they're doing on your website tool. So you're going to download Google Analytics and you're going to install Google Analytics. And then once it's installed, you're able to go drill into it, right? So then let's go down and let me just find our website here. So just don't share all my clients' data here. So let's look at our own website traffic. So, you know, super simple. This tells us we had 10,000 sessions. Now here's what's really cool about it. I just want to look at my organic, so I can go to advanced segments, organic. And again, I know this is really, really fast. I'm just going to put the bug in your ear that there is Google Analytics. You can check it and just say, hey, what's going on with my organic traffic? So this is just free traffic from Google, Yahoo, Bing. And then you say, I would like to know, what are my top landing pages? So I'm going to go in here and I can say my number 1 landing page is this guy here. Okay, it doesn't always open because there's a little kind of a weird bug in that. That index of HTML shouldn't be there, so I'll just show you that page. So this tells you the last 30 days, 1,400 visits of this page. And you go, what page have I produced that is so popular? So it's a page that I wrote a long time ago about AdWords coupons. Now let's go look at our rank, right? You could even do it this way. You could open up your fat rank and I could put in here AdWords coupons. Check. I'm number 6. I can put in here AdWords vouchers. Check. Number 5, AdWords $100 coupon. Check. Number 3. So basically, between using the Fat Rank tool, right, knowing my keywords, I can see people are searching for AdWords coupons, AdWords $100 coupons, etc. They're landing on my website, and I can see in Google Analytics that they're landing. Now, it's a relatively high bounce rate, but I'm getting lots of free traffic for that keyword phrase. Number 2 is this book, Best SEO Books, same process. So this is a way you can see what pages are bringing you new traffic from Google, and there's a lot of drill downs here. What pages rank, what pages get clicks, what pages get bounces or conversions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the bug in your ear is to drill into analytics and get get some learning. Now, for those who are on our mailing list, right, and not everyone takes the class, I get that, right? On the mailing list, you're going to get access to the dashboard. The dashboard is built on the toolbook, and I just want to point out you can go into the dashboard and you can drill down here into metrics, and then I have information about Google Analytics, right? And I want to show you one that's very, very helpful and really cool, which I think is here. Here we go. Is this one, Google Analytics Academy. So you're going to get the dashboard. Hey, I want to learn more about analytics. I have a link to this fabulous Analytics Academy, which has deep drill downs into how to use Google Analytics, right? Right now, here's me up on my kind of ironic Alanis Morissette soapbox vis-a-vis Google. So they're busy self-driving cars. They're busy sending the internet to Eskimos and to penguins, which is great for the Eskimos. I'm not sure the penguins really are looking for internet. They don't publicize that they have this incredible learning resource on how to use analytics. It is nearly impossible to find it. Inside of analytics, I mean, just so ironic. See that guy right there? You got to click on the little hat, which is a graduation cap. Then you have to scroll to the bottom to find the link. Do you see that, how easy that is? You have to know to click on the cap, to go to the bottom, to click here, to find the resource that's going to tell you everything you wanted to know about analytics for free. So it always kind of amazes me with Google. Fantastic company, super smart, but sometimes the T's don't get crossed and the I's don't get dotted, and I don't want you to miss that resource for being better at Google Analytics. All right, number 10 tool here as we get to our end of our presentation. I hope you haven't fallen asleep. If you have fallen asleep, we will be sneaking out of the webinar. We'll be leaving you over the weekend. It's going to be very scary. You're going to wake up. It's going to be dark. Everybody's going to be gone. If you have not fallen asleep, if you stick around, you'll get the tool book. If you're on Facebook right now, we're monitoring your behavior, and we will be sending an email to your boss that rather than paying attention to the webinar, you were on Facebook. Okay, for those of us who are still paying attention, we want to never stop learning. This is where physical fitness, it doesn't really break down, but physical fitness and SEO are a little different, right? Because SEO does change, and we want to stay up with the news. Once we have the basics down, right, and I teach the basics, I help people get the ducks in a row, oriented the right direction, motivated, so they learn the basics. Then you got to graduate, and you got to pay attention to what's out there, and you want to stay up with information. And we're all in information overload. We are all too much information. So I want to share with you my favorite information overload tool. It's called Feedly. And I want to just show you kind of how I do this, sort of my own secret way. So sign up for Google, sign up for Facebook. You can use, I prefer using Google. So you sign up Google, and then you connect that to Feedly, so it's connected. And then what you can do is you can build a little folder in Feedly. So I have a little folder. You can see there on the left. So see over on the left-hand side of the screen. I haven't used my thing. I'll show you. Oh, here's the left. So you sign up, and you organize your blog. So I have a folder called Google Official. These are the Google Analytics blog, Webmaster Tools, AdWords, etc. And then Feedly is like my own little personal newsletter. And I can then go, oh yeah, okay, so here's Google's written some content about the AdWords expanded text ads, and I can then go drill into that, and I can read it, and I can keep learning as Google's, announcing and rolling out new information, in this case on AdWords. I also have a folder for SEO, and I put Search Engine Journal and Search Engine Land and all this stuff, so I can just say, hey, you know, I'm going to drink my coffee, I'm going to go through here and see what's new and exciting, and I can go, oh, that's an interesting article, I can check that article. So Feedly pulls the content from whole bunches of blogs into nice organized little path, and this is how I keep up to speed on SEO and SMM and marketing and things like that. So Feedly is a really fabulous free tool. It's also available on the phone. So once you get it, you install it, you put it on the phone. When you're bored, like I use it when I'm in line at my healthcare provider, you can just scroll through and it gives you good content to keep learning. This is the point when you're supposed to get on your cubicle, kind of like Norma Ray does in that famous movie, and you're just supposed to be maybe with your keyword and just be really, you know, just crazy and just start screaming, we can do SEO, we can get to the top of Google, people, we can get free tools, we could use Feedly to keep, and then maybe to get fired, or maybe not. All right, so let's kind of conclude here. So to get the toolbook, we will send out an email alert tomorrow that will have a link to the toolbook if you didn't already get it. If you're on our mailing list, we always email you the instructions to download the free toolbook. So you'll have that in that way tomorrow. We'll send it out tomorrow. That's the easiest way to get the toolbook. Little questions there. We're ready for questions. We're going to start our paid training, so shameless plug for our shameless plugging for our training. We're going to start our paid classes on SEO, social media, and AdWords. Those start Tuesday. If you're interested in those, we'll also send out a link for a discount. The coupon code, if you want to remember, it's really difficult, is discount, and that's going to get you a 10% discount on the training. All right, so assuming there are some questions, Gloria, we can take questions from the audience. If you have a question, you can type a question into the question box there in the GoToWebinar software, and we'll take some Q&A here. We have 20, 30 minutes. We can do some Q&A from people who watched the presentation.
First question is it worthwhile to create a separate page that target keywords, and do you risk fracturing your inbound visits and hurting your rank?
Yeah, so to kind of translate what that question is talking about, so let's sort of back up here, and I always think it's so valuable to sort of look at companies and sort of get a lay of it. So what they're asking is, we can take Progressive as an example, right? So Progressive has auto insurance, right? So they have auto, they have home, they have RVs, etc. Try to get to their landing pages. And so the idea would be, is it better to have one big site, right? So they have one big site, progressive.com, and then they have a landing page on renter's insurance? Or is it better to have a specific website, renter's insurance, a specific website, motorcycle insurance, etc.? So the answer, of course, is it depends. I would say as a general rule of thumb, for things that are closely related, so renter's insurance, RV insurance, those are all insurance. Things that are closely related should probably be kept in one domain. Probably kept in one domain. Things that are not closely related should be split. So let's say Progressive.com had an insurance division and they also had a pizza division, right? Completely unrelated, those things should be split. That's the definition of splitting, is when they're very unrelated. You have two very different businesses. You sell insurance and you make pizza. Very different. Where it gets a little gray, here's where it gets a little gray on that answer. Should you have individual? This is in the bulky. Here's where it gets a little gray. If you have pizza and you have a Fremont location, right? So here's the Fremont location, and you have a location in Milpitas, in those really narrow local markets, you may do better with having kind of a mega site and then having little local pages. So you'd have Bronco Billy's Pizza, Fremont.com, and Bronco Billy's Pizza, UnionCity.com. That can be better because, believe it or not, the localization goes down to kind of like zip code level or even closer. So localized companies may do better with real specific web pages to very specific cities. That's especially true if you're in like these fragmented suburban areas where there's lots of little cities. That's really common back east. So kind of depends. I would generally say you want them all together most of the time. The exception is unrelated items, pizza, and insurance. And localization, a little bit of an advanced idea. You may do better with smaller websites that are super localized.
Okay, our next question is, does Google ever update the SEO guide? Not sure how much has changed since I first looked at it long ago.
Yeah,
a while ago.
Right. So I would say they haven't. The SEO guide, which is what we're talking about, is that's if you just, it's going to be on the list that you'll get. But if you, once you know it exists, you go to Google and you put in, Google SEO Starter Guide. That's the official name of it. Hasn't been updated recently. So I would say basically the basics haven't changed very much anyhow, and the guide is very non-controversial. It's super basic stuff. It's no dirty tricks, nothing great, etc. So I would say they haven't changed it very much lately. The other place that they are putting some information is in Webmaster Tools. They have a learning link, and here is some new information. Now, all of this is a little light. It's a little kind of propagandistic. It's not everything you need to know. It's the basic Google information. But this is new. The Webmaster Academy is, maybe a year or so, a couple years old. So it hasn't changed frequently. It's just a very basic starting point. I would say it's also, like I said, sort of flippantly, it's very useful if you're working with a team of people and they don't know anything and they're not going to believe me because I'm just knucklehead Jason McDonald. Why should you believe me? It's useful to say, here's this official documentation. So it's very, very basic, very basic.
Okay, my rankings haven't dropped for my important keywords. Top 10 for all, top 5 for most. Woohoo! She says, thanks for your help. But my impressions have, and my organic search traffic has dropped by 30%. What might cause this? Right.
Okay. So this gets to this rank thing. Okay. So the first place I would look, first place I would look would be take the rank, especially if there's any, and it's funny, if there's any localization, you'll be surprised what gets localized. You'll be surprised. So let me show you. You can go here and you can watch your rank. So here, let's take SEO Expert, right? So San Francisco, and let me change this to the desktop. And let's look. So SEO Expert with the location set to San Francisco, I'm number 1 in the snack pack. Why is it doing that? It's just being stupid. I'm number 1 here on the snack pack, and I'm like number 2 on organic. But if you just maybe change and you put, say, Oakland, I may not rank Oakland, California, which is just across the bay. I may not rank. Okay, and so I may rank. So I would use this tool and look at different cities that you're targeting. That could be an area, and even down to zip code level. So one of the things that Google has been doing, more and more and more and more is localization down to smaller and smaller and smaller geographies. So whereas 5 years ago you were just number 1 for San Francisco and it's done, now it literally varies neighborhood by neighborhood. That would be an area of change. Number 2, one of the areas where there's a big difference in traffic is because of the phone. And let's look at what we look on the phone. The layout of the phone, let's check something that has more ads on it. So let's do like motorcycle insurance, right? The layout of the phone is such that ads. They've really crowded out the organic on the phone by putting ads. So as traffic is shifting to the phone, ads are crowding out the organic. Googlers out there, begin evil laugh, right? So the ads on the phone are crowding out the organic. That's, I think, another area that can impact your traffic. You also have to realize, maybe your customer behavior has changed, right? So people's behavior can shift too. So you kind of have to start really getting into the dirty of the localization, the phone, maybe search terms have changed, etc., even if your ranks are still decent. Okay, so we're waiting for next question. Gloria, are you there?
Oh, my apologies. Are blogs required on store sites to do SEO for ranking on Google/Bing?
Yeah, so when you get to what we're talking about here is sort of, you know, let me get my site to sort of talk about this. So for any kind of website, right, just basic architecture. I'll use my site as an example. So basic architecture of my personal website. So I'm optimized for SEO, a consultant, SEO expert witness, AdWords, etc. So your basic structure is homepage and then one click to define landing pages that are optimized. That basic structure needs to exist on an e-commerce website as well. Where your blog is helpful is your blog allows you to create a lot of micro content that can sort of constantly tell Google we're live, we're live, we're live, and can be in the nuances. And because it's not e-commerce, right, your blog is sort of like you writing subject, verb, object, it's a little bit more SEO friendly than a straight up e-commerce. Also, e-commerce doesn't change, right? You know, you sell a tchotchke, it's the same tchotchke, so there's no changing. So I highly recommend, I always recommend, once you get your basic structure, home page, landing page, a blog is a big help. That's that. Now, does everyone do this? No. Look at this. Do industrial fans, right? Nice and very straight. You know, here's industrial fans direct, right? Number one. Notice how home page and you have one-click link to ceiling fans, and ceiling fans is really optimized. So this is a really well put together SEO-friendly structure. But let me zoom out here, right? But there's no blog, is there? So if I was the consultant for industrialfansdirect.com, I would say, here's the good news. We have a well-optimized homepage. We have well-optimized landing pages that are, focused on a real specific, duct inline products or fans, right? What we're missing is a blog. Now, why would you want to write a blog? Because your blog, let's just take industrial fans, right? Let's see if Uber Suggest has decided to cooperate. Uber Suggest. So if you take industrial fans, isn't that funny? It's like, oh, it wasn't going to cooperate. Now it's like, well, I'm going to take you off my list if you don't cooperate. So industrial fans. So here's where our blog. So you can go down here and you can start to see, oh, even though we don't rent fans, that could be a great blog idea, right? So you can go and look at ideas and you can blog about them, and Google is going to reward you for that fresh content, and because when you write a blog post about something, you can get good subject, verb, object on it, fresh content, etc. So I always recommend a blog. It's very valuable even for e-commerce. Once you've done the basics, but you need the basics, homepage, landing page.
Okay, our next question. How do I check to see if I have been blacklisted? I've been hacked and saw that once during Jason's training, and it helped me. Will he cover that here or no?
Yeah, okay, so here's how the first line of defense, am I blacklisted, is go to Google Webmaster Tools, Search Console, right? So log into your Search Console. And in your Search Console, sort of good best practices with respect to Search Console, let me go down here and find us, right? So within your Search Console, okay, make sure that in your messages, in your message settings, you've set this up, because they will alert you if you're in trouble, especially if you've been hacked. So that's your first line of defense, is to make sure that the email settings are set to alert you. If you're concerned, go and look at your messages, and this will, I would say, 50% of the time, if you've been hacked, it's going to say, you've been hacked, you're in trouble. And then they have actually links to how to get unhacked, right? So that's important. That's one way to tell if you've been hacked, and also to give you some resources to fix yourself. Related to that, if you're in penalty mode, right, you'll do a search for your company name. If you're penalized, you'll often see, let me get my little marker out here. So if you were penalized, underneath here, you would often see a warning that says, this site has been hacked. So that would be a warning that you'd see as well. That's the two warnings for hacking are either in Webmaster Tools, or you search for your company name, or some of your key searches, and it'll usually say, this site has been hacked, watch out, etc. Now, related to that, if you penalized, again, it would show in Webmaster Tools. This is a penalty, not a hacking. Let's say you're in trouble for Penguin or Panda. You've done some naughty SEO. Google Webmaster Tools, again, about half the time will say, you've been penalized, here's why. The other way to find out if you're penalized is do a search for your company name. If you don't show up for your own name, that's a very strong indication that you're severely penalized. If you are showing for your name, do searches that you typically do really well on. So I know we rank for SEO Training Chicago. We've ranked for a long, long time for that. If that disappeared, that's another sign that you're being penalized. So there's kind of degrees of penalty. You don't show for your name, that's a severe penalty. You don't show for searches that you've almost always ranked really well for, that's a kind of a warning indication. You get the notice you've been hacked either in Webmaster Tools or in the searches. Then now you know the problem, you've been hacked, you got to fix it. That's its own tragically difficult thing to fix.
What do you think about Google Voice Search for SEO?
Okay, so this is where there's a lot of confusion. So what we're talking about here is kind of what's called semantic search, latent semantic indexing. So the sort of buzzword here, latent semantic indexing. That's the super nerd term for this. You have to kind of step back a little bit, and this is sort of like I get on my little soapbox here. So people will say keywords don't matter. It's all latent semantic indexing. Well, that is the stupidest thing you've ever heard of, and here's why. You know, we're driving down the road, right? And we're hungry. And I say to my wife, I'm hungry. Are you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. Okay, well, we want to get some food. We're going to pull out our phone and we're going to say, hey Siri, or hey Google, for on Android, whatever, and we're going to say pizza restaurants near us, or restaurants near us, or you know, diners near us, right? We're not going to say, hey Siri, yeah, we're kind of sort of thinking of, you know, but we're not going to tell you what we're really wanting. We're, you know, no, right? You're going to give a keyword, restaurant, pizza, near us, right? So one of the kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater here is that when we move towards verbal searching, we still have keywords because that's the way that language works, right? Here, you know, shocking revelation to those people who were born after 1995, right? Language pre-existed Google, right? There was language before there was Google, and language works on keywords. So don't get into this trap of thinking the keywords don't matter because people are talking to their phones. That's just stupid. Where it does matter is kind of the interpretive context. That's where you do have some changes. So what's happening is we're driving and I say, hey Google, I'm looking for restaurants. And then the next thing is it says, oh, I found pizza and Chinese food and, you know, tacos, whatever, nearby. And then I say, okay, how about the pizza? And then without me having to say driving directions, it's able to figure out that's the next logical thing in this sequence. So sequential searching is also important, right? So that's where you might think about creating a page driving directions to our restaurant, for instance. The other related one gets to this idea of if somebody puts in birthday venues, right? What are the related searches? And this is, you know, birthday venues for kids, birthday venues for toddlers. If they search for birthday venues for kids, what else are they searching for, right? And you want to look at the screen here. You can sometimes see them down here too. Fun. So the word fun, right? So here's your LSI, right? Birthday is related to party, is related to fun, is related to kids, is related to near me. So that cluster of words is related. That's what LSI is really about. So if you're going to write a blog post on birthday party venues for kids, start thinking about putting the word fun and ideas and good places and things like that in there. That they're rewarding that. So that's a more nuanced way of thinking about it. And that has to do with people talking into their devices. But what's not happening is keywords don't matter. That's not happening. They do matter. Tag structure does matter. There's a lot of confusion where people, people watch too much Star Trek and they think that it's going to be ESP and we're just going to mentally talk to our phones. We're not even, they put a chip in our head and it's going to know what we want even before we want it. We're not even close to that. So that's kind of how that's shaken down.
Are long tail keywords better than normal keywords?
That's sort of like asking, is chocolate cake, better than winning the Olympics, right? So it's not either or, it's both. It's both. Now, what do we mean here? Now, I'm just being a little facetious, right? So you got to think strategically about those keywords, right? So that's why I love analogies, right? Mom, I want to go to the Olympics. What sport? Okay, I want to go swimming. Well, drill down into swimming. Okay, I want to do breaststroking. I want to do backstroke. I want to do freestyle. Okay, great. Within freestyle, do you want to do long distance freestyle or do you want to do sprint, right? So is one better than the other? Is a gold medal in, breaststroke better than a gold medal in freestyle? Well, no, they're both gold medals, right? So don't fall into this trap of either short tail or long tail. They're both important, but also realize, some things don't have gold medals, right? There's no gold medal for pizza eating. There isn't a sport called pizza eating. So that's not a good keyword, is it? I want to be in the Olympics. I want to be in the Olympics for what? I want to be in the Olympics of pizza eating. Doesn't exist. Can't do it. I want to be Olympics for swimming. Okay, great. So here's the idea here, right? Pizza is a little generic, right? It does have a transaction because it's sort of implied. I mean, you're not like, what is pizza? I have no idea, right? But look at other keywords, right? Knee pain. That's your educational search. What is it? What causes it, right? And then knee surgery, right, is getting closer to the transaction. I'm ready to take the plunge and get the surgery. Knee surgeon is the transaction. I already know I got knee pain. I'm looking for the guy or gal who can fix it. And then when you put in, best knee surgeons in San Francisco, that's a very high value long tail search keyword. So what you don't want to think is it's long tail, short tail. The better way to think of it is what's transactional, knee surgeons in San Francisco, versus what's not transactional, knee pain, right? That's very educational. And within your long tails, you definitely want to dominate best knee surgeons in San Francisco, but, dominating knee surgery in San Francisco is also pretty good, right? And dominating, knee doctors Bay Area is good too. So you want to kind of think of them, I think of them more as concentric circles within the center, my hot transactions, knee doctors in the Bay Area, best knee surgeons. Knee surgery is a circle out. Knee pain is even farther out. So I think it's better transactional, non-transactional than short tail, long tail. And don't fall in, sort of a, here's sort of education for everyone, right? If you don't know, so, go and look at false dichotomy. False dichotomy, either we win the Olympics or we eat pizza. That's a false dichotomy, right? So don't fall into the false dichotomy. Either we optimize for Google or we optimize for humans. You can do both. That's a false dichotomy. It's a logical error. So that's kind of the way to think about that problem.
Are there any specific advice on front page SEO?
So I'm not sure what they mean by front page, Gloria, because front page like a million years ago was a Microsoft product for creating websites. So if they're on Front Page, which was a Microsoft product for creating websites, there is an SEO advice. Get off of it and go to WordPress. If that's the question, right, it's like, should I still ride a tricycle or should I buy a car? Cars will work better. Or if it's about homepage SEO, which is maybe the question, I hope. If they're on Front Page, I don't want to hurt their feelings, but you've really got to get off of that. That's not good. If you're talking about homepage SEO, the long and short there is get your keywords onto your homepage, get one-click links, from your homepage to your target landing pages. So homepage has the word AdWords coupons, landing page has AdWords coupons. That's targeting people that do this search, AdWords coupons, and I think about number 6 right now. I haven't tried very hard lately. So that would be my, get the keywords on the homepage, get one-click links from the homepage. If you're using Microsoft Front Page, join the revolution and get WordPress. So Gloria will wrap us up here. For those who are interested, we're going to start our classes next week. We have a 10% discount for you on those. If you didn't get the toolbook, we'll send that in the email for sure. You can get that from the mailing list. I think that's sort of all the housekeeping. Gloria will kind of wrap us up, and we will send out the recording late today or tomorrow.
That does conclude our webinar. We had a really great group. Wrapping up, just want to remind everyone that we will be emailing out the video recording with all of the information, including the links and to the SEO toolbook. Our paid classes, of course, are going to be starting next week on Tuesday, February 2nd. We certainly hope that you guys can join us for the training and get your company to the top of Google for free. Thank you, Jason, for a great presentation, and we hope everybody has a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.